Welcome back to Low Country Spotlight. We're just rolling right along. Again, so happy that you could stay tuned with us to see some of the wonderful things we have going on in Low Country. And today's guest, this is his first time being on Low Country Spotlight, but he is certainly no stranger to the Somerville community, nor is he a stranger to WLCN Studios. We have with us today Mr. J.J. Meservey, and you might know him as the Dorchester County Auditor, but you're kind of also like Mr. Somerville too, right?
I think a lot of people say that because when I was in college, I'd always say to my fraternity brothers, well, in Somerville, so they started calling me Mr. Somerville.
Yeah.
I don't know if I am that person, but I'm very proud of where I came from, and that's why I moved back to this community.
Yeah, well, you know, Somerville kind of sets the standard for everything good that happens in the world, so we definitely delight in that. Okay, so we were talking about what we're going to discuss today. We're not talking about anything dealing with auditing, auditor, taxes. So if you were tuning in today hoping that you were going to find out how to get out of paying your property taxes or how to get them reduced, and you know, when you get the high mileage discount and all that stuff, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about the fact that your son is getting the first haircut today, right?
My youngest child is 18 months, and he is getting his first haircut at the same place that my child got his that my oldest son got his first haircut.
Yeah.
And that I got my first haircut, and my dad has been getting his haircut there for 65 years, and it's Simmons Barbershop on Main Street in Somerville.
We're advertising for Simmons today. They probably didn't even know that. When you go, you can tell them to watch Low Country Spotlight.
I'll definitely tell Romy, because when I was here before and did the Coach McKissick show, Romy and everybody at the station always tuned, or at the barbershop, always tuned in to watch the show.
Okay, great. Now, let's talk about the importance of this tradition and the heritage, because that's something, stories like that are just things that you hear about Somerville all the time.
Well, I just think that, you know, it's important for me because I have the pictures of both my grandfathers who have now passed there when I got my first haircut, and it's just a really special thing. And then when my oldest son got his haircut first time, it was there, and it's just one of those things that I think they should all have. My mom always tries to take pictures with my two boys and outfits that I wore as a child.
Gosh, and I thought Kate Middleton was the only person who did that.
Yeah, well, and that may sound weird, but when you put the pictures up together, it's just something very sweet and very special. And I was blessed as a child with two beautiful, wonderful sisters.
Yeah.
And just seeing these boys interact is very cool.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, I think that throughout, you know, my talking to people who are native to Somerville, people who've lived here a long time, or people who've been here, you know, as long as I have, there's just something about family that is just so ingrained in this community. Is that something you would agree with?
Well, I think that the secret to Somerville, because when you move to the Low Country, there's a lot of different places you can move. The weather's still going to be the same. It's the people.
Yeah.
And the people in Somerville do an incredible job of welcoming others. Yeah. So even those that haven't lived in this area for their entire lives, and you know, some people say they're from off or whatever else. They feel like they're a part of the community, and they really are, because the more people that come in, we add different perspectives and things of that sort. Yeah. And Somerville has always been a very welcoming place.
Yeah. How do you feel about the growth and things of that nature? Do you feel like we're growing too fast? You feel like anybody who wants to live here should be able to come here and find a place to stay and live in peace and harmony like we do? What do you think about that?
My thoughts on growth is that as far as the infrastructure and stuff, I see that it is strained already.
Yeah.
But at the same time, much of our economy is built upon that growth.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one of those things of, would you rather have no growth or too much growth?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a non-growth person, and I just want, but if you start to control the growth, you're going to create more problems.
Yeah.
I just think a lot more adequate planning and things of that sort need to be taking place, and people need to talk to each other about how, between governments and landowners and everything else, about what they view the future of the community.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there's enough room for everybody. We just have to figure out how to do it. And isn't that a testament to the greatness of this community that so many people want to come here?
Well, and I meet so many different people that come into my office to move here, and I have a saying that God created the earth in 6 days.
Yeah.
He rested on the 7th. He rested in Somerville. Somerville is God's country.
Yes.
So, you know, and it's kind of our heaven, and I see people that for jobs or whatever else have moved away, and they all want to come back here because it is a wonderful place to raise your family, retire, and just, you know, live a life that has a lot of quality, I believe.
Now, you went off to school. Where'd you go to school?
I went all the way to the University of South Carolina in Columbia.
No.
Yes.
You know what the
I'm a
Clemson.
Gamecock. Well, but then you got your education after that way.
I am not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. Okay, so you were drawn back to the area after you finished your undergrad.
Yes, ma'am. And I think a big reason for that was I been to Columbia and seen a couple other communities. I just had a great desire for my children to grow up around their family, as well as experience some of the things that I did, like playing golf at Myler Country Club, or getting their first haircut at Simmons Barbershop, or going to Somerville football.
Yeah, yeah.
So those are things that are important to me, along with being with my family.
Okay. And talking about Somerville football, now Coach McKissick retired. Was it 1 or 2 years ago, or last year?
This will be the second year that Coach McKissick has been retired. I've actually seen him a couple times.
Okay, how's he
doing?
He
looks fantastic.
How old is he?
I believe he'll be 90 this September. He's still going out.
You're kidding me.
No. And he's still going out to practice. He's still working at his beach house. He looks fantastic. Miss McKissick looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And I don't know that anything will ever stop them. I believe Miss McKissick has broken her hips 3 different times.
Oh, no.
And she's always made it back.
Wow.
She's tougher than Coach ever thought about being.
Yeah. Well, talk to us a little bit about, you were doing the Coach McKissick show, and talk about how Somerville football in and of itself is just another great thing that makes this community so wonderful. Now, listen, my children went to Ashley Ridge, so Ashley Ridge football is good too. And
well, first of all, you're not old enough to have children that went to school. But the interesting part about it is my granddad was the team doctor for Somerville for many years.
Okay.
And actually, I never played a down of football in my life.
Okay.
And I did the Coach McKissick call-in show here, but I also have done the public address at the football games for this will be my 9th year.
Wow.
And that's really, really a lot of fun. It's a lot more stress and preparation, like with this TV show, than people ever realize.
Yeah.
But it's my way of getting involved in the game, and it's just one of those things. It's kind of like if you go to St. Andrews to play golf, or Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
It just smells different there at Memorial Stadium in Somerville, and it smells sweet.
Yeah, and I think they're getting like a new sign, a new billboard or
they
something, right?
They actually have, we got the first one, I believe, 9 years ago. That was the first year I started public address, and that one kind of went out of date, but they've added a new one for this year, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, I live down the street from there, and every day there's like Mr. Signs or whoever is putting that up. So what do you foresee the future for Somerville going forward? We talked a little about growth. We talked about family and traditions. We talked about people moving here. What do you foresee as the future of Somerville?
Somerville is going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
There's no way to slam the door and stop people from coming in. What Somerville has to do is they have to, and Somerville and the region, not just the town, they have to plan.
Yeah.
And they have to plan for the future. They have to plan for the growth, and they need to make sure that we put in the infrastructure necessary to maintain the quality of life we have here.
Yeah, and my children and I have had wonderful experiences here, as you've talked about your family experiences, and isn't it wonderful that we can offer those same types of opportunities for greatness for other families too?
And that's what when I hear people say they don't want anybody else to move in, at some point, unless you were an Indian, you were allowed to you were allowed to move in.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we don't need to suppress anybody else's quality of life, but it's easy to say, now that I'm here, I'm gonna shut the door.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's just pray that doesn't happen.
It won't happen.
It won't happen.
No.
Okay, we've been talking to JJ Meservey. Listen, we're going to have him back on the show. He's such a delight, and y'all didn't get any of your tax questions answered, but we're going to have him on the next time, and maybe you all can submit some so that he can answer. Don't go anywhere. We got more Low Country Spotlight coming right up.